I'm going to give you the future. I'm going to tell the future here, and then in the next 24 hours, we're going to find out if I can tell the future. So, this is what I predict is going to happen based off of past events. If you ever want to know what to do in the future, try to learn from the past because it can be very useful. So, that's what I'm doing here. So, I have a 415 with one of my primary doctors, the specialist for the GI. The one who's playing around and not quite getting stuff done for years and with the other one. This is the one on maternity leave, and then there's another one who's on vacation or maternity leave or something as well. This is one of the two that are playing games. But anyways, I have an appointment with somebody from her office. Not her, but somebody, some other doctor. They do this a lot. They switch me around. Sometimes I see 5 different doctors in the same year, and none of them are my doctor. And I requested to see my doctor and pass on information, and I'm not even allowed to. What I've never heard of that in my life. I have a recording of it. I've never heard that the only way I can pass on information is by giving it to the secretary verbally at the desk, and then she gives it verbally to the nurse practitioner, and then the nurse practitioner gives it verbally to my doctor. Then my doctor makes a decision, gives it verbally to the primary care, and then the primary care gives that decision verbally to the secretary. Then the secretary calls me, and then because it's all nonsense, I tell her that's just nonsense. That makes no sense, and it sounds like you guys are acting inappropriate again. Secretary goes, I'm just reading you what they wrote. I said, I know that. I'm not upset at you, but this is inappropriate behavior. Wicked inappropriate. I'm a patient who's trying to just tell his doctor what's going on with him. My urine turned black last night. That scared the living shit out of me. I put it in a cup, but that was no good. So I waited till my next urine, which took 12 hours, and I was able to take it straight out of the tap, take a camera footage of it, all of that. So straight, so the doctors can see it. And I went to the emergency room for a third trip and gave them a dark brown sample, really not black, like dark brown sample, 12 hours after that. So it took 12 hours, and I was drinking water and hydrating. Something's wrong with my kidneys. So I try to pass that on to my doctor. I'm not allowed to. It takes me 4 weeks to even get a hint to my doctor that something is wrong. And then they play games and they pretend like it's not even like real because they waited so long and they played so many games that now I can't get the help I need. So today I have a 415 with these jokers. Now I'd really like them to do their jobs and help me. If there's something like writing a paperwork that will prevent injury, I would like them to prevent my injuries. It's called preventative medicine. If your patient is bleeding internally, if he can't stand up for more than 2 to 5 minutes without falling down, there's something that needs to be done there. You don't just say, have a nice day. That's not the proper protocol there. And I've already done that plenty of times, and we've already seen what happens. We've already seen what happens for the last 8 years. We've seen it up here. The doctors have seen it. Now, I haven't had the GI for 8 years, but I've had the neurological condition. The GI's been going on for 1 year, and they've seen plenty of that. So there's no reason for this to continue other than incompetence. So, like I said at 4:15, this is I'm going to tell the future now. They're going to end up playing a game with the meeting. They told me to check my email and text and click it. That's exactly what I'm going to do. At 4 o'clock, actually 30 minutes before, at like 3:30, 3:45, I'm going to check in. Try to find the email. At 4 o'clock, 15 minutes before my appointment, I'm going to start trying to sign in. 5 minutes, that's 4:05, 4:10, and 4:15. I will sign in until I can finally actually sign in. Once when I'm signed into the waiting room and it says, please wait, doctor will be with you shortly, she might not even show up and then tell me that I didn't show up. They did that to me before. They scheduled an appointment. I clicked on it. I went to the waiting room. I kept on calling their office, calling their office, calling their office, and then they just told me I didn't show up. So that might be something that happens, but I don't think this time. I think this time they're just going to send me an email. I'll be in the waiting room for a little bit, and just maybe, they go a little late. Okay. That's my prediction. They're going to be a little late to the waiting room. Or I don't get in the waiting room. Next, I predict that I'm going to have to explain this to the doctor once again because she won't have any of my previous information. I bet that she doesn't have any of it. I bet when I try to describe what's going on, she seems clueless about what's been going on in the last year, even though this is probably the 30th time that she's been told this. This is probably nothing new. It's been going on. It went in remission a little bit because I was out of work and rested, but I busted it more and more and more and more and more. The pain keeps on coming back, and then when my urine turned black, that was it. It got turned up from about a 4 to an instant 8 as soon as my urine turned black, and then it just kept on going up every day since. It went from an 8 to a 9, a 9 to a 10. Now it's just skyrocketing whenever I stand up. It just hits so much that I go like to the ground. There is no number. It's through the roof. It's fall to the ground. Your heart feels like you might die. That level. So, with that going on, I'm going to explain to her my condition and be like, my urine has turned black. My GI is swollen really bad. We really need to look inside of this. And we really need paperwork for my boss. My bosses want to know why I can't work. And I know why. I'm injured. But we need some paperwork from doctors. That's what I'm going to ask, just for some paperwork that is legally required because I'm injured and I can't stand up right now. I'm not even going to ask for the wheelchair or the crutches or the cane I need because that's just going to not happen. If I ask for a crutch or a cane, what I desperately need, they're going to shut off all my care and hurt me. I guarantee it. I can guarantee if I ask for a cane or a crutch, they instantly tell me no and they start fucking with me. So instead, we're going to try to get at least some of the paperwork done. But this is my prediction. I ask for the paperwork, we end the meeting. They don't give it to me, they don't send me it, or they send me a paper that's no good. And then I go to try to get the rent paid, or I try to get health benefits, or I try to go to work and tell them what's going on, and they're all going to tell me that the paper was not filled out properly. It's not enough. It's not enough. You're not hurt enough. As far as we know, you can go back to work today. What? Is that what this paper says? This paper says I can go back to work today? Yes, it says that you are having a GI issue, but you're cleared as soon as you leave. What? That sounds like nonsense. What are these doctors doing to me? Jesus, Jesus, help me. Please show these doctors some guidance. When you have a patient in my condition, they don't treat them this way. But see, they're looking at my file. They just type in my name and they see all my mother's bullshit. So they think it's a story. They think that, oh, no, it's a story. Maybe if we treat them badly, it will go away. But see, you can burn me, you can kick my ribs, you can break me, you can leave me on the side of the road for days, you can try to circle up and make fun of me like the EMTs did, you can try to just take my cane away, throw it away, and then leave me on the ground to crawl home. You can do these things to me, but it's not going to change a damn thing. People have tried to see if I'm faking and have kicked me, beat me, took my cane away. Doctors have fucked with me, malpracticed me. They've tried to get me out of the hospital by purposely malpracticing me. So I've been through it all. And I know for a fact that it's not going to treat my disability. It's not going to treat my pre-existing condition, and I'd really like it to stop. When I go to the doctors to get a pre-existing condition looked at and documented and get paperwork on it, or preventative care paperwork so I don't get further injured, if I'm going to the doctor for that, I do not expect them to then try to get me hurt when my legs, if I'm paralyzed, like if I get hit by a car and I get brought to the emergency room, I do not expect them to put me in a wheelchair and then throw me on and say crawl to the bus stop. Nobody does that. Nobody. But if I get hit by a car and can't walk, and they run zero testing, they will do that to me. They literally will just see me on the road. The ambulance will pick me up. I won't be able to speak. I'll be stuttering, having difficulty explaining what's wrong. My legs will be irresponsive, but they won't do any x-rays or any scans. So then they would just release me instantly because I can't talk and throw my ass. Then I would have to crawl with my legs dragging behind me, and they're all going to laugh at me like it's a game. Like it's a game that I'm being forced to crawl for the rest of my life. No, if this goes any further, I'm going to lose it. Men don't have to crawl for their lives. I don't have to crawl to the bathroom. There's stuff that I've been wanting to do today, yesterday, the day before, the day before, the day before, that I can't fucking do. And I'm getting pissed off because this is really, really, really affecting my life for 25 years, and these doctors only have their own asses in concern. They have no consideration for my well being. Oh, well, you want me to be concerned about you being on maternity leave? Well, it just happens you got the right guy. I care about everybody. I care about you, your baby. I hope that you guys are healthy. But you guys made a decision. I told you I needed real health care from an experienced doctor who was older because I had a difficult case and my health is failing really fast now. And I've been through this for 25 years, and people that have pre-existing conditions for 25 years without them getting documented or treated usually end up in really severe shape. So let's get this treated. They made a choice to give me their youngest, most experienced doctor who they knew was pregnant. So, knowing that, they made a decision. Now, I did not make a decision at age 7 to be drugged and have an overdose. I did not make a decision at other ages to be poisoned with Epicac. I did not make a decision to be brainwashed and have my mind twisted. I did not make a decision to move around the country multiple times. As much as my father does want to blame 7-year-olds for moving to Texas, no adult moves because of their child. And if that was true, if my father really did move us to Texas because a 7-year-old told him to, then how about when we other moved? He never listened to me about anything else, so no, that was an excuse. So once again, I didn't get a choice in moving to Texas. I didn't get a choice in any of this. My mother got to choose. If we moved to Texas and I wanted to go back to my doctor, they weren't going to bring me back to Mass. No. I didn't get a choice in any of the things that happened to me all the way to 19. I didn't get a choice to be thrown out to the street. I didn't get a choice about people bringing illegal drugs into my house. I didn't get a choice in any of these things. I didn't get a choice in to even see my dying mother. I literally was refused and set up so I wasn't allowed to see her. Oh my God, I tried so hard to see my dying mother. I thought that she might make a confession because she did. She confessed quite a bit. But now she's dying in a hospital bed. I can sit next to her and the guilt will do it. I don't have to say a damn word. The guilt will do it. But no, my father has literally told everybody that he's going to prevent me from going to see her and making up every excuse in the book to prevent. Oh, I don't want you to see her that way. Oh, no, 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 no. You don't need to. No, no, no. Taking away my right to see my own mother. So these things were done to me. I had no choice in the matter. No choice in these matters. When my mother passed away, you think I had a choice on who my father married and how he ignored what was going on and how he ran away from the problems that he just was like literally just bailing and leaving for me? No, I didn't get a choice in the matter. You think I had a choice of illegal pills that were illegally brought into my house, the one that my Social Security paid for? Because me and my father both are paying for that house at that time. My Social Security paid for it. If you want to take my money as rent for staying there, then you have to admit also that I'm paying you. I'm paying to stay there. I'm paying it. If you're going to take Social Security from me for years while I'm in a program, and then I move in and I'm paying you, and you're going to do all this, then yes, I paid for that house to stay there. And not only that, I gave up thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars that was guaranteed to be legally mine by the Department of Health and Human Services. The Department of Health and Human Services of Massachusetts made it very clear that my father stole money and committed fraud, and that money would have to be returned to me. And all I had to do was sign on the dotted line. But I did my father a favor and did not sign. That was a choice I made. I made that choice. So he had more money to pay his bills for his house. He would have lost about 24,000, no, 980, about $12,000 he would have lost. He would have had to give me legally. There's nothing I could have done about it. There's nothing he could have done about it. If I signed that line, he would have had to give me the money. But nope, I'm too good. I'm too nice for that. I'm too forgiving. Nope, I just refused to sign and gave him a break. I just told him to be a good person and make sure his son gets the help he needs. That's all. That was the deal. And he bailed out. He bailed out. The real deal was all you have to do is do everything in your power to get me Social Security and keep it. And instead he bailed out, refused to pay, just all these different games. All these different games because he was angry. He was angry because I'm angry, and we're all angry that the mother passed away. I haven't been allowed, whatever. But anyway, so these things are being done to me. I didn't have a choice in the matter. I had no damn choice in any of this happening to me, and I've been wanting help for 25 years with it. I do not like shaking. I do not like falling. I do not like people making fun of me. I do not like people hurting me for being disabled. I do not like getting hurt because I'm disabled and not getting treated. But I don't have a choice in the matter. But these doctors do. These doctors had a choice. They had a choice which doctor to give me. And they gave me the youngest, most inexperienced pregnant doctor they had. That's a choice they're making, and that choice is going to get me hurt. Just like the choice my mother made to not bring me to the emergency room after an overdose. She made a choice. I was on a pile of newspapers, my breathing was slowing down, and I was going unconscious. Down in the hallway, she made a choice that she was not going to make an emergency room visit, so she came back, said that they don't know what they're talking about, and left me there. She made a choice to do this to me. When I ate that mushroom and she gave me a punishment with extra Epicac, where I saw the whole bottle go in, she made a choice. When my mother lied to doctors, moved to Texas, and manipulated everybody, as well as sucked my dad's money dry, literally, my mother is taking my father's money, wasting it, and then using it to hurt me. That makes us both victims of one person. Did I get a choice in that? No. But my father did. My father did get a choice in that. He could have said, no, I don't want to pay for these crazy ass treatments. Why don't we bring him to a neurologist or a real doctor instead and run him through some real machines that will really tell us something? Instead of all this mumbo jumbo about, oh, it's Greenouch's name and it must be his biological mother and it must be some craziness. And no, Mom, you're acting crazy. You're popping pills of your child. You're hiding pills all over the house. You're acting unstable. You're drinking heavily. You're slapping your kid around. You're drugging your child. You're giving him pills he's not prescribed. That is not a good mother. And now she's passed away, and all my doctors are still weaponized. She weaponized doctors when I was 7 and kept on trying to weaponize them, moving state to state, so that way she could get me on Social Security and cover up her mistakes. It started out with covering up her mistakes. Started out with just evasive action. Oopsie, I accidentally drugged my child. And then a month later, oopsie, my child's at the doctor's talking about how I drugged him and I gave him an overdose. Oopsie, my child's now telling the doctor again about the overdose I gave him. So I better take evasive action. And that's how it all started. After that, things just went bad to worse to worse to worse. And now I'm going to die at the age of 31. Well, I might make it another couple days, months. There's no way to tell. But last night I was pretty sure I wasn't waking up today. And I feel like I might not make it through today, actually. I'm talking all right. That's only because I got my eyes closed. I'm sitting here not moving a single muscle. Only thing I'm moving is my mouth. It's the only part of my nervous system I'm moving at all so I can talk. But if I tried to stand up, I wouldn't be able to talk. I wouldn't be able to hold a phone or do anything. I can't do anything in this condition but just lay here like a vegetable. I can make short movements, but I shake and I get electrical discharge through my body. I also vomit, get sick to my stomach quite a lot. This is not a fun way to go, and it's been happening for 25 years. The only new symptoms is the prostate, the liver, or the kidneys, the GI, and the prostate. Something going on with those is the only stuff that's new. And whatever's new definitely could have something to do with all these other conditions going untreated. I mean, if you have all these other pre-existing conditions going untreated, you're just going to have more injuries, more injuries, more injuries until you treat the actual problem. Like, if I don't treat my neurological disorder, I'm going to get more fractures, more breaks, and more head injuries. What means I'm going to have more memory problems and more brain problems, more mental problems if I continue getting slammed in the head against the cement during seizures. I mean, these are violent seizures. My whole body, I guess, looks like a fish. I'm unconscious for them, but we've had witnesses, videos, so I now have a good understanding of what they're talking about. I've also had a doctor in Lowell General Hospital tell me that these were seizures. And he was able to get me that diagnosis within like 30 minutes to an hour of being conscious. Meanwhile, these doctors, they can't even write a damn note. I don't understand what's so hard about writing a note. Maybe they're disabled too. Maybe my doctors can't spell, read, or write. Maybe that's what it really is. Maybe my doctors just paid for their degree and they can't read or write, and that's why they're playing so many games, as they don't want anybody finding out. I doubt it. That's just a joke, but still. It's almost like that's how they're acting because it's so inappropriate. And I almost feel like they think my behavior is inappropriate, me calling them and telling them my urine's black, but then that makes me not want to report my illnesses. I mean, it's really embarrassing to have to talk about poop, pee, penises, balls, stuff like that. I do not like it. I do not like it. It embarrasses me. It's something I don't like to do. And when a doctor belittles you and starts talking to you in an inappropriate manner because you're sharing that your urine just turned black, or you're sharing that you have blood in your testicles and you're worried about why that is, these are very, very, very important things to share with your doctor. But then they act inappropriate when I share them. They don't do anything. They don't write paperwork properly either. Like, for instance, I had one do not work order that was meant for the Pepsi company, so I don't have to lift Pepsi. And the do not work order said Zachary is excused from gym class. It was no good, so I had to lift for 30 more days. Now, my boss would have gave me a break, but that is not the rules. The rules and regulations say my doctor has to give me paperwork for me to be excused from lifting. If that's the rule, then that's what I expect my doctor to follow. I followed the rules to the letter. As much as people try to make you seem like that's not the case, that's exactly. The only thing I ever do is go in the gray area, and that's legal, 100% legal. I am okay with the gray areas. That's cigarettes, like that's CBD products, that's hemp products, K2 back in the day. I had to make some money and stay with people. There was a bunch of people in apartments that smoked K2. So as long as I had a bag on me to give away, I always had a place to sleep. I always had a bite to eat. I always got something to eat. I always got a ride, and I always got a place to sleep. It worked out good. But then they were tightening down the laws, so I said, no, I don't want to sell this. This stuff could be bad. They're tightening down the laws. This was fun enough. It was legal. All the stores have it. I'm a walking store, and now I'm pulling my stock. I don't want anything to do with it. If the stores still want to sell it for now, that's great. They can go to them. And I'm not proud of that. That's a big mistake I made. I feel like that stuff was poison that I was giving away for a place to sleep. But all the other stores were selling it perfectly legal. And I don't do the gray area anymore. But my whole life, that's the closest to doing bad deeds I ever did, was sell legal things that stores are selling. If I walk into a convenience store that's openly selling something that's 100% legal, and that might help me get a place to stay so I don't freeze to death, I can put two to two together to stay alive. And I'm doing that now. I'm now making creams too. I'm making CBD-V creams, and I'm doing that so I can actually get my own medicine CBD-V, because I use the regular CBD full spectrum with everybody's creams that I'm selling, giving away. Meanwhile, my personal cream is great for the nervous system, but I can't afford it. So for every 2 or 3 creams I sell, I get one free for myself. And I am able to figure out stuff like this just to stay alive a little longer and keep going a little longer. But I've bought myself all the time I can get. I've worked while injured as much as I can. I'm now bleeding as much as I can bleed. I'm now hurt as much as I can hurt. I'm now at the end of my rope. There's nothing left, and these doctors are still just trying to hurt me and fuck with me. They still haven't even got to step 1. I mean, they should be on step 20 by now on this. We're not even at step 1. We are like 5 years behind. These doctors should have been on something at least last year. I mean, Goodwin should have had some paperwork transferred over there. And now, what is this primary care going to transfer over to my new primary care? Because I will be making a new primary care if I live. If I live, because right now, I don't know what's going to happen to me. I don't know. I don't think, I think I'm going to be rushed to the emergency room and then die out front of their emergency room while waiting for help. I really don't know what's going to happen with all these people playing games like this. But I will be going back to the emergency room over and over, but I'll have to find one that isn't talking to my crazy ass doctors. Or I got to get my doctors to do their jobs. and just write the damn orders so they can look inside of me. Because the problem is, you guys haven't looked. If you guys don't want to look, if you guys can't at least order one damn test, then you're not going to get anywhere. Because you can't know anything if you haven't done anything. You guys have not done a CT. You guys have not done any ultrasound. You guys have not done anything more about this in years. And I keep on requesting. I mean, when I try to do the CT scan, you guys triple billed me for it. Made me crawl on my hands and knees 3 times just for one CT scan. And now they don't even want to order it when it's necessary. So these games are going to get me hurt.